Hey sixth graders, this is lesson 9-2 and today we are going to talk more about positive and negative numbers on a number line. So we look at this chart right here, we can see there is a horizontal number line going sideways, and we also have a vertical line going up and down. So there's two different ways to think about number lines that way. First vocabulary is this word origin. And the origin of a number line is the point at 0. So right here and right here, this is called the origin. And it is the origin because it is 0. If you are ever on a coordinate grid, when you have your x-axis and your y-axis like this, your x and your y, this is also called the origin because this is the point 0, 0. Okay, positive numbers are to the right or above the origin. So if you have positive numbers, those are all the ones to the right or all the ones above the origin. And then if you have negative numbers, those are the ones to the left or below the origin. So going to the left or going down from the origin, okay? What's the difference between positive and negative numbers? Positives go to the right or they go up from the origin. Negatives go to the left or down from the origin. Now we have this word called integers. And integers include whole numbers, their opposites, and 0. Okay, so integers do not include fractions or decimals where you have numbers that are in between numbers, because those are not whole numbers. Integers are only whole numbers, or in other words, the counting numbers, and their opposites, so the positives and the negatives, and it also includes 0. So pretty much all these numbers right here on these number lines are integers. Integers represent both the distance measured in unit lengths, showed by the numeral, and the direction, shown by positive and negative. So that means how far away are you from 0? Are you 2 away from 0? And then are you 2 away positive, or are you 2 away negative from 0? Are you 5 away from 0 in the positive direction, or are you 5 away from 0 in the negative direction? So that's what they mean by distance and direction. Distance is what number, how far you're away from 0. Direction is, are you above or to the right, or are you below or to the left? Okay, so that's a little bit of teaching. Now, what do the loops on each number line show? So if you see these little bumps, these are the loops going right here. What do those show? Well, we can just say each loop or bump shows unit lengths, right? So each one is worth 1. So for each bump or each loop, you're moving 1 unit. All right, on the horizontal number line, which is this one going sideways, how do the arrows for +2 and -2 show both direction and distance? Well, they are both showing 2 units away from 0, and that would be the distance. And the plus and minus show the direction. So if you have the +2 or the +2, it means you're to the right, or you are above your origin. And then if you have the -2 or the -2, you are to the left, or you are below the origin. Okay, number 3. On the vertical number line, how do the arrows for the +5 and the -5 show both direction and distance? Okay, so very similar question to the last one. we've got, they are both showing 5 units, because this time we're at +5 and -5, away from 0, which is showing the distance. And also, the positive and negative show direction. So basically the same question that we just answered in number 2, it's just talking about different numbers. Positive and -2 and positive and -5. Okay, number 4. Are positive and -2 and positive and -5 opposite integers? Yes. Because positive 2 and -2 are the same distance from 0, but in opposite directions. That's why they are called opposite integers. And then the same is true for positive and -5. All right, number 5. What do the arrows at the end of each number line mean? So they're talking about this. Right here there's an arrow, and right here there's an arrow, and right here there's an arrow, and right here there's an arrow. So what do those numbers mean? Basically, each arrow shows that the number line extends, which means keeps going, without end. So even though we have +1, +2, +3, +4, +5, that arrow means that this extends, it keeps going without end. It keeps going +6, +7, +8, all the way to positive whatever number you want, as long as it's an integer. And same with all the positives on the horizontal number line, as well as the negative part of each number line. You have -1, -2, all the way to -5. That arrow means that it continues beyond -6, -7, and so on. So what do those arrows mean? Each arrow shows that the number line extends without end. All right, number 6 says, write a 3-digit number and its opposite. All right, so we can pretty much come up with any 3-digit number we want. Let's do positive 427. I just picked that randomly. What would the opposite of that be? Well, the opposite is just going to be the negative of that number. So if this is 427 units away from 0, we would also want -427 units away from 0. Those are opposites. Now there's a lot of different answers that could have gone here. In fact, there's 999. Oh no, there's not 999, because until we get to 100, we can't count the ones from 0 all the way to 99. That's true. But there's lots that we could have picked that are 3-digit numbers, and as long as you put the opposite, then you are good. Okay, so next it says, distance and points on a number line. One way to represent distance on a number line is to circle unit lengths. Another way is to mark points. So before we were kind of circling unit lengths with showing these with the loops. They're saying another way is you can mark points. The number lines on this page use tick marks and points to show the origin and the unit lengths. So you can see right here we have 0 is marked for us right in the middle, And to the right is showing us that 1 unit is worth 1, so this is positive 1. 1 point on each number line is not labeled. Label each point with an integer and explain why you chose that integer. So, right here, this is not labeled. There's a point there, and this is going to be -1. And then right here, this is not labeled. This would also be -1. So it said go ahead and label them and explain why you chose that. Okay, so the unlabeled point is -1 on both lines, right? Because we have the horizontal one and then the vertical one, because they were both 1 unit away from 0. Okay, and they were negative because they were to the left, or on the other one, they were below 0, and that's how we knew they were negative. Okay, number 8. On each number line, draw a point at each tick mark. Label each point. So now it wants us to finish this. So we'll start in the positive direction. We add +1, so this would be +2, +3, +4, and +5. That's to the right of the number line. Those are positive. If we are going up on our number line, we're going to do the same thing. So 0 + 1, this would be +2, +3, +4, and +5. Now if we're going to go negative, we have 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. See, these are all just saying how many units are they away from 0. Like this one right here with 3, this is 3 units away from 0. But it's negative because it's to the left of 0. All right, we'll continue here as well. So we have -1 already marked. So then we have -2, -3, -4, -5. This one right here, -5, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units away from 0. That's where we get the 5, and it's negative because it's below the 0. So that's how negative numbers work. All right, we have a puzzled penguin problem next. It says, dear math students, today I drew 2 number lines to show the integers from +2 to -2. Here's number line A, +2, +1, 0, -1, -2. Here's number line B, +2, +1, 0, -1, -2. My friends say that I did not draw either number line correctly. Can you tell me what I did wrong? Your friend, Puzzled Penguin. Okay, so can you guys see what Puzzled Penguin messed up on the first one, on number line A? Yeah, so he flipped where his positive and negatives go, right? Positives belong on the right side of 0. And negatives belong on the left side of 0. At least when you're on a horizontal line, like number line A. Okay, so he flipped the positive and the negative. Well, what's wrong with number line B? Well, number line B, you're supposed to have positives above 0, which he does. He's counting by 0, 1, 2. That looks good. Negatives are below 0. That looks good. 0, -1, -2. Okay, so the problem here is that the tick marks are not equally spaced. So when you are doing a number line, each unit must be the same length. And this is way bigger between -1 and -2 than it is between 0 and 1. So that's what we can say. The tick marks on a number line must be equally spaced. All right. Now the next thing in this lesson, so sad, it's a game and we can't play because we're not together. So we will skip this page. So the next page is more of the game. So sad, we can't play because we're not together. But it's kind of good news for us because that means our video is really short today because the next page is lesson 3. So that's going to be it for today. Just a little bit of more information about number lines when you were talking about positive and negative numbers.